everyone, I'm Draco from the Dyspraxia System, and today I want to talk about what you could possibly do when an alter switches mid-conversation. Obviously, this will differ per system. It depends on multiple factors, one being with DID there are most of the time amnesia barriers between alters, while with OCD most of the time there will be no amnesia barriers or almost no amnesia barriers between alters, but obviously it depends on the system. So if you're not sure, you can always ask the system what you should do. We'll just say some global things, and this is also mostly based on what we would like you to do if we switch mid-convo. So yeah, it's gonna be a bit of both, but don't assume that because this is what we say that this will work for every system. So yeah. It also depends on if you are face-to-face talking to someone, so like video chat or in real life, or if it's through text. If through text, it's easier because then the alter can read back what was going on, what the conversation was, while through video chat, for example, you can't really do that. The only thing you through text might be nice to do is if you haven't met that alter, say, "Oh hey, we haven't met before, nice to meet you. Are you comfortable with this topic, or would you rather talk about something else?" I would ask if they're comfortable with the topic either way, unless you somehow see that they're okay with talking about it, like if they responded to a question you had, or something you said, then most of the time it will be the case that you can just continue talking about that. But if you are just like, hey, I'm here now, then ask if they want to continue talking about the conversation, or if they would rather talk about something else, or if they would rather not talk with you. That's also okay. Don't think that's rude. Sometimes, an alter might just not have the energy to talk to you right now. Just like you might not have the energy to talk to another friend, or like the same friend. Alters can have that too. So don't think of that as rude. Sometimes they're just not comfortable talking to complete strangers, which is, fair if they haven't met you before. But yeah, just ask. But for text, it's a little bit also about the context of, their first text. If it happens in like a video chat, for example, there are a few more things that I would say you should do, which might be nice for the alter if you do that. First of all, of course, again, if they haven't met you before and they have amnesia barrier, so they don't know who you are, introduce yourself to that alter. For us, you can just say, "Hey, nice to meet you." You don't have to say your name again, because all of us know all the names of the people we've met before, unless we collectively don't remember your name. But then you would probably not know that we're a system anyway. So yeah, just kind of assume that we know your name. But if you know or aren't sure if that author knows your name, introduce yourself your name as well. Like I said, depends on the system. You can ask if they know what's going on. I would advise you this actually every time. We would know what's going on. We might not remember exactly what we wanted to say or what exactly was said, but we will know what's going on. Other systems won't. So ask if they know. Ask if they're comfortable continuing what you are doing, or if they'd rather do something else. Just like through text, obviously. This is also for if it's obvious someone switched out. If you know that system switched without them saying that they switched, without them acknowledging it yet, just, be like, oh, hey, who's this? I noticed you switched, right? Is that correct? Do something like that. Ask who is renting now, and if you seem correct that they switched. If you don't do this, if you just completely ignore that someone else switched, even though you consciously notice that someone switched, sometimes you can see that, sometimes you don't. But if you see that someone switched, please don't ignore that. That is most of the time, like 99% of the time, will that be seen as rude. It will be seen as rude, because especially if we know that you've consciously seen that we switch. We obviously won't always know, but if you just blatantly ignore a switch, chances are that alter and maybe that system then completely will see you as rude, and will think that you don't actually acknowledge every alter, and you only care about one, for example, which that isn't something that you want, because then we'll be like, oh no, not them. They were rude. They don't like all of us. They clearly only care about this one alter that they used to think was all of us. Oh no, don't want to talk to them. You don't want that reputation. So if you notice, just ask if they indeed switched. Go for that. That is not a rude question. Asking who's renting isn't a rude question unless they specifically said that they'd rather not have you ask who's renting, but they'll let you know. You can always ask what you should do if in case they switch. I'm sure they'll only think of that as a nice thing that you can ask. They won't think that's rude to ask, and if they'd rather not say, then they'll say that. Just it shows that you're being considerate of their situation. If you don't notice that they switch, then obviously you can't be like, oh, hey, I thought you switched just now. Obviously you can't do that. Then it really depends on whether they address it. If they don't address, then the conversation just continues on like it was already. If they don't address it, and you notice they're a little bit more confused, you can always be like, did you switch? Is that why you look more confused? Or like, why are you confused? If you notice that they're confused and you don't know why, because you didn't notice them switching or anything, just be like, it's something not clear to you, and then they might be like, oh yeah, I seem to have switched out, and I'm not sure what's going on or why I switched. You know, otherwise they might address it, and then again, if you don't know the author, just be like, oh hey, it's me, nice to meet you, and ask if they know what's going on. It really comes down to just ask who they are. If they don't say that first, you know someone switched out, asking them if they know what's going on, and if they do or if they don't, explain it to them, obviously, and if they do, then you don't have to do that. But after that, if they haven't said so already, ask them if they're comfortable with that, or if they would rather do something else, talk about something else. One thing that also can influence whether or not they know what's going on is if they've been co-con or cofronting right before the switch. Co-con is when they're near the front, but like they're not fronting yet, so like they can see what's going on and they can talk to the person in front. You don't have to be co-con, I think, to be able to talk to the one in the front, but I'm not entirely sure about that. But like they know, they can see what's going on at the front, but they don't have any control over the body. While when they're co-fronting, they also have control over the body alongside another author. So obviously, if you've been co-con or co-fronting before, there's a higher percentage, a higher chance that they know what's going on. But you can't really tell. I don't think you can tell actually at all, whether or not they've been co-con or co-fronting before, unless they've stated that, because I wouldn't know how you can see that other than maybe small changes in their behavior. But you'd need to be really observant for that. But yeah, I think this covers most of it. Like I said, for us specifically, because we don't have amnesia barriers, we'll know what's going on. We'll know who we are talking to. So we'll let you know if we want to, if we feel comfortable with that, if we want to switch the conversation, or if it's someone else. But that isn't with every system. So keep this, what we said, in mind. You can always ask the system, you can always ask the system that you know about what they would like you to do when they switch mid-conversation with you. I'm sure they'll only see that as you being considerate. And otherwise, just maybe try what we said in this video, but don't take this as an end-all thing. Like, obviously, this is just globally what would be nice, but it's not for every system, like we've already said. So, yeah, hopefully you liked this video. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or whatever, leave them down below in the comments. If you want to follow us on social media, it's in the description. If you want to see more of our videos, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified when we upload a new video. We upload every Wednesday, and we'll see y'all in the next video.